Hello, and welcome once again to the Premier Halo Championship League Recap Show. My name is Wadamus, and I will be your guide through all of this past week's action. This week, we saw just how intense the action can get, and trust me, you are gonna want to stick around for every second of this one. Without any further ado, let's jump into our first matchup, the Rain City Bitch Pigeons versus the Certified Underground Hustlers. The Rain City Bitch Pigeons have got to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, surprises of this season so far. Starting off strong at 2 wins and 0 losses, the team looked to keep pressure at the top of the table and stay undefeated. On the other side, Certified Underground Hustlers looked to try to rebound and grab their first win of the season, and Game 1 Team Slayer on the pit provided them the opportunity to grab control early on in the series. Nirvana Fan Man and Zero Eye showed the level of play that we have been expecting from them all season long, and combined for a total of 30 kills. But it was the all too familiar face of Akuma Freeze who once again stepped up and led the Rain City Bitch Pigeons with 27 kills and a staggering plus 17 KD. This performance kept the Certified Underground Hustlers out of reach, and the Rain City Bitch Pigeons took Game 1 by a score of 50-42.
Hey! We did it, boys.
Right, we'll take it.
The performance from the entire Certified Underground Hustlers organization was very impressive, and even though they lost in Game 1, they showed that they can compete with some of the top teams in this league. With Game 2 moving to capture the flag on Narrows, teams have to make sure that they are well coordinated and are communicating effectively, as it is very difficult to break through and get the 3 captures needed for the win. The narrow margin of victory in Game 1 jump-started the Rain City Bitch Pigeons, and they did not mess around in Game 2. In what has to be one of the quickest capture the flag victories on Narrows, the Rain City Bitch Pigeons won by a score of 3-0 and looked to be back in top form to try to clinch their 3rd victory of the season on Guardian.
Game over.
That was the fastest game of CTF Narrows I think has ever happened.
That was awesome, Nate.
And
Good
Nate got all 3
job.
flags. Oh my god, dude.
Similar to the teamwork and communication needed on Narrows to be effective, the coordination to be successful on Oddball is also crucial. Rotating the ball and knowing the exact moment that you should go play it can make all of the difference. Certified Underground Hustlers knew that they could not go down without a fight, and they made sure that they did not let Rain City Bitch Pigeons take them by surprise from the start. While their coordination seemed much better, and the team was able to keep up with the slaying ability of the Rain City Bitch Pigeons, they could not match their objective play, and once the Pigeons got ahead, they were not going to be looking back, as they would go on to win the game by a score of 250-115, giving them the series sweep.
Game.
Nice. Good game.
Nice job, Jake.
It was a tough loss for Certified Underground Hustlers, but this team showed that at moments they can match the top teams. It is just a matter of bringing that level of play week in and week out. In the second matchup this week, we got to see everyone's favorite underdogs, the Infinite Ducks, take on a 4 Elements team that was looking to make a statement after signing a new player to the squad.
Let's do this.
Heck yeah.
Guys, we gotta make a duck sound. Like,
Oh my god.
You can always count on the Infinite Ducks to employ unique strategies into games, especially when it comes to Team Slayer on the pit.
alright, knuckleheads, let's do this.
Alright, no straight line.
Straight line, no, straight line to the right. Everybody to the right.
They'll never see it coming.
They'll never under.
Oh crud. They're coming from the left. They didn't see it coming.
Game 1 provided both teams the opportunity to take an early lead in the series and also put the other team on their back foot. Coming into this game, Eridan Darkgate was a definite threat to the Infinite Ducks game plan, and they knew it. Working together, the Infinite Ducks were able to keep the mighty Slayer quiet and keep pressure on the rest of the team. However, when one of your players is down, there is always an opportunity for a new player to step up and lead a team. And in this game, Radic was the one who answered that call for 4 elements. While the Infinite Ducks continued to stay uncomfortably close, it was Radic and his 21 kills that led the 4 elements to a 50-40 Game 1 victory.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Oh,
Good. Yo, really good job.
good
guys.
game, boys.
Holy crud.
We really stepped it up here.
Pleasantly surprised with their performance in Game 1, the Infinite Ducks looked to use the positives from the Game 1 loss on the pit and transfer them into success in Game 2 capture the flag on Narrows.
Let's go, boys. Big wins. Oh God, they're flying in on us.
Hey, we gotta get these snipers down low.
Playing in his first series for the Infinite Ducks, Saucy used his voice to lead the Infinite Ducks to an early flag capture that surprised not only 4 elements, but everyone that was watching as well.
We can do it. Oh my god, we're actually gonna capture a freaking flag.
Watch out. Hey, they're trying to snipe us over here, so be careful. Save your celebrations for later.
The momentum had shifted, and the Infinite Ducks were now in control. However, Eridan Darkgate was not going to be quieted 2 games in a row, and with pure grit and determination, the team was able to claw back and grab a flag capture to even back out the score. Time was winding down, and the game seemed to be heading towards a draw. But with one final push, it was the 4 elements that grabbed a late capture that broke the hearts of the Infinite Ducks and all of their fans. With that final capture, the 4 elements took a 2-0 lead on the series.
I grabbed their flag and just pulled them in.
Fraud, I got like double melee.
Oh, they just recovered the flag. Ah, they just kept it. Just kept it.
Oh my. We did so freaking
Barely, barely.
Damn.
I'd f***ing watch out for us. That's all I'm saying.
good. Oh my god. No, seriously though, good work guys. That was insane.
That was good. That was a good one.
Now finding themselves down 2-0 in the series, the Infinite Ducks, as usual, were still filled with optimism as they went into Game 3.
Well, now it's just 3 elements and Pinky.
Let me tell you, I can read these guys like a meteorologist. 50-50. So,
50-50.
Following a little bit of confusion in Week 2, the team looked much more comfortable, understanding exactly what the oddball game mode entailed. The 4 elements looked to finish off the Ducks quickly, as a series sweep could be crucial when it comes to match differential and the playoffs. Making his premier Halo Championship League debut, Binky was looking to show not only the 4 elements, but the entire league what he can do. And to the disappointment of the Infinite Ducks, he delivered. Leading the way with 25 kills, the 4 elements took control early and never gave the Infinite Ducks a chance, as they would go on to secure the series sweep by a score of 250-35. While it was another tough loss for the Ducks, the team has a lot to look forward to, with the entire team looking better each week.
All right, we did our best.
That's really annoying.
We got points on the board.
Happens to the best of them. We did get points on the board.
Week 3 brought us an exciting matchup between 2 teams looking to grab their first win of the season, as Semi-Stellar went up against Bad Communication. Both teams were not going to hold anything back in Game 1 Team Slayer on the pit, as whoever took Game 1 would set the tone for the rest of the season. Bad Communication looked to a new lineup this week, as Comeback Zach made his PHCL debut and was hoping to lead Bad Communication to that first win. Unfortunately with him, controller issues plagued his debut, and he just could not get comfortable with the setup. While there were issues on the Bad Communication side of things, Semi-Stellar had their best team performance of the season. All 4 players managed double-digit kills, and while Arx and Katarn kept bringing Bad Communication within striking distance, it was Semi-Stellar that brought it home with a win in Game 1 by a score of 50-44.
Oh, the throw grenade. I'm not GG, that was close, that was close.
Well, at least now I can go to controller.
Following a brief pause while comeback Zach figured out his controller issues, the teams knew how important the second game of any series could be. After fighting so hard to keep Game 1 close, Bad Communication was excited to show off their new objective playing ability now that comeback Zach was in the lineup. Bad Communication started off strong and continued to show the higher level slaying ability and outslayed Semi-Stellar by a score of 71 to 50. Finding themselves being outslayed, Semi-Stellar continually tried to play around the objective and try to grab something in this game. Unfortunately for them, when it comes to capture the flag on Narrows, you have to have the slaying ability to back up the objective play, and they just could not keep up.
Nice.
Nice.
Woo! Let's go.
Before they knew it, Bad Communication had jumped out to a lead and would not look back as they drew the series even following a 3-0 victory in Game 2.
Good.
I killed him with the flag.
Nice. I'm on my way to help.
Okay, I'm just gonna defend myself over here. I am very uncomfortable.
Got him.
Yay!
Woo!
God, that was the scariest moment. You guys were like all over there trying to turn the flag, and then one guy just comes up to me.
Nice. See, I can do a little bit better with control.
Yeah, that was awesome.
With the series all tied up, it was another objective game type that would be played to break the tie. Following their dominant objective play in Game 2, Bad Communication was excited to carry that momentum into Game 3 and try to secure the series lead. Semi-Stellar looked to halt that momentum any way possible, and even with the CC grabbing a very impressive 18 kills in the match, they just could not find a setup that worked for them, and the continuous onslaught from the dynamic duo of Arx and Katarn 22 left the team in a hole that they could not find their way out of.
He's going back over the whip.
Nice. You going to get it?
The immense slaying power of Bad Communication meant that when they got control of the ball, they were going to get a lot of ball time, and that helped them go on to win by a score of 250 to 108 and become only one win away from the series victory. Game 4 brought Capture the Flag back into play, and while Bad Communication dominated the earlier Capture the Flag game on Narrows, Heretic is a completely different beast. The different approach to Capture the Flag on Heretic meant that the slaying ability that Semi-Stellar showed in Game 1 was going to play a huge role in whether or not they could hold off this series loss. The game was back and forth, and both teams were giving it their all. There was no point where either team looked like they were out of it in this one. However, through all of the back and forth, it was Bad Communication that would hold out in the end and take the game by a score of 5-3, giving them the 3-1 series win. An impressive moment for this entire organization.
I'm returning it. Got it. Let's go! Let's go!
The fourth matchup this week was another one that was full of excitement, as Mugwump Squad looked to show their quality against the powerhouse in the league, Eclipse. Game 1 on the pit is one where coordination and timing can make all of the difference between power weapon control and being stuck at your base with nowhere to go. Mugwump Squad was excited to see how they would match up with Eclipse, but I don't think anyone expected the talent that Eclipse was going to bring to this one. Right off the bat, you could see the time that Eclipse has put into making themselves into such a dangerous team. No matter what Mugwump Squad tried, they were always met with a coordinated onslaught from Eclipse. Metal Pillow continued to show off his class on his way to an impressive 19-2 scoreline, leading Eclipse to a 50-19 Game 1 victory.
Alright, I'm gonna push with custom.
Not slow.
We can just hold forward, I think.
Okay, let's go. Hold forward. Nice.
Good shit, guys.
Yeah, nice game, y'all.
Following the result in Game 1, you could tell that Mugwump Squad were shell-shocked. They knew they had to step up their game in Game 2 capture the flag on Narrows.
Okay, they have snipes.
On the other side, Eclipse looked to keep their foot on the throttle and keep control of the series. The game got off to a slow start as Mugwump Squad tried to figure out the best way to approach the Eclipse setup. However, their caution was not going to last long as the game turned into a frantic Slayer match as both teams aimed for top control.
Team News has no shields on R1.
Go drop down to L, loads back up.
Dude, he is disgusting with the sniper, bro. Oh, what?
Eclipse utilized their teamwork, and on a coordinated push, they were able to secure the ever-valuable first capture of the game. This caused Mugwump Squad to have to come out of their shell, and while they continued to hold off Eclipse's onslaught, it was Eclipse that took this game by a score of 2-0 and put them one game away from their third consecutive sweep on the season.
Yeah. GG, guys.
That was good.
Okay, one more to go.
Yeah.
It was Mugwump Squad's last hope as they headed into Game 3 Oddball on Guardian, and they were looking to grab whatever they could.
Just make sure you're always getting shots on. If you have the opportunity to put shots on somebody, just always do it. Let's make sure that they always know that they're gonna, let's play this as intense as possible. I want them to be as pressured as possible so that they feel like they need to move away and they need to play ball, so that gives us more of an opportunity to grab it. So let's just make sure that we're coordinated and tight here, and let's just pressure everything and
let's do
up the ball.
Let's do it. Come on.
Binocular Yeti led the way with 26 kills, and the team looked very strong at certain points. But with Metal Pillow and Vulpix grabbing a combined 75 kills, there was not much that Mugwump Squad could do. The team just could not get comfortable against the Eclipse setup, and the continuous pressure meant that they were only gathering a few points at a time. On the other side of things, Eclipse knew how to find success in this game mode, and made sure when the ball was in their hands, they were going to be grabbing a lot of points. And this led them to a 250-96 victory and a 3-0 series sweep. While Mugwump Squad might be a tad disappointed in their effort, they have a lot to be proud of, and I look forward to seeing what this team can do with a few more games under their belt.
We gotta get the 50. We gotta get the 250. Just go out there and grab it, boys.
All that.
Can't win by time. We gotta win by winning.
Good
That's right.
shit.
That's right.
And now, we move on to this week's premier matchup. A highly anticipated showdown between two of the top teams in the league, Helljumpers and Attrition. This series could have huge playoff implications as both teams try to look to secure a top 2 finish and the ever-important first round bye. Game 1 on the pitch showed us just how close and intense this series was going to be.
I got double, let's go. Come on, let's go. We got custom. 14-40. Let's go.
Both teams were fired up, and they were going to do whatever it took to make sure it was their team that ended up with the series win in the end. An early push from attrition allowed them to grab custom control, but it did not take long for the Helljumpers to break their setup and regain control of the map. When one team would gain control, it always seemed like it was not long before the other team figured out a way to break that control and retake it for themselves. Both teams showed terrific teamwork, and the Helljumpers used coordination to keep crossfire on attrition and make it hard for them to stay set up on their side of the map. With neither team pulling away, this game was coming down to the final seconds. In the end, it was attrition that kept ahead and went on to win this one by a score of 50-45.
Nice.
Let's go. That's a dub.
Freaking go.
Good win.
Go, boys.
Start.
Solid
job.
game, boys.
Both teams knew that this series was going to be a long, grueling matchup, and Capture the Flag on Narrows presented what appeared to be another extremely close game. With both teams being practically equal when it comes to slaying ability, it was all going to come down to each team's ability to play the objective. While attrition was able to grab the flag early on, the Helljumpers were always in position to stop them. And while there were connection problems causing a pause in the play, neither team knew how to get the best of the other. The teams continued to trade kills and have flag runs stopped well before any threat of scoring. The battle raged on, and no matter what the teams tried, the score remained deadlocked and ended with a 0-0 draw. Game 3 was crucial for the Helljumpers. While a loss would not have given them the series defeat, it would prevent them from being able to outright win the series. The teams picked up right where they left off from the first two matches, and intense action started right off the bat. Each team would manage to grab ball time when they could, but it would never take long for a coordinated push from the other team, and it would result in possession switching hands. Once again having to take a pause for a connection issue, it was attrition who held on to an early lead of 52-47 when play resumed. That pause in play was all the Helljumpers needed to mentally reset and get their game plan in order. Upon resumption of play, the Helljumpers controlled all the key points on the map, and while they were not outslaying attrition, they were able to put the ball in extremely safe areas, and they prevented attrition from ever doing the same. You could see the discomfort in the attrition pushes, and after continually trying to break through, it was the Helljumpers who would go on to take the crucial Game 3 victory by a score of 222-161, and evening back out the series at one game apiece.
Nice. Good win. Good win.
While Game 4 was not a match-deciding game, it did mean that whoever won this game was going to have control moving into Game 5.
We've got to have this one.
Alright, guys. Let's take a
What
second.
if we tie the next two?
Yeah, then we tie. then I have to go meet South for a friendly duel.
Following the tough loss in Game 3, you could see the frustration and disappointment on the side of attrition, and the Helljumpers were going to make sure they took full advantage of that. Using a coordinated push, they quickly secured the map and kept attrition feeling the same way they did in Game 3. This control led to 2 captures and a comfortable 2-0 lead. Attrition looked down and out, but it was Snowy Wolf that kept the team focused, and eventually they found their opportunity to get a capture of their own and move the scoreline to 2-1. That flag capture re-energized the entire team, and all of a sudden, it was the Helljumpers who were on their back foot as attrition found their setup and before they knew it, the score was all tied up.
Got him.
Nice cap, nice cap. All right, yeah, let's go, freaking go. Nice.
With each flag capture, the momentum shifted, and no matter what the Helljumpers tried, they just could not get back into it, and attrition would go on to win by a score of 5-2 and take a 2-1 series lead.
Get him, Connor, get him, Connor.
It was a beatdown. It was a double beatdown. Bring it up.
Lift it.
Bring it up, motherfucker.
Lift it.
Get it the f in there. Let's go. Let's go. What a comeback, boys. Holy shit.
Let's go!
Here's tonight, boys. Let's freaking go.
The tides had turned going into Game 5, and you could feel the energy coming from the attrition team. A series win was right there in front of them, and they knew all they had to do was come together on this Slayer match on Construct. As per usual between these two teams, the action started quickly, as both teams scrambled to gain the advantage and to grab power weapon control. While the initial action resulted in things staying close, it was attrition that used their momentum to keep snowballing and gain control of the map. Even when the Helljumpers would gain control, attrition utilized the custom to break through the line and coordinate an effective push to cement their control. In the end, Helljumpers could not keep up with attrition, and they would go on to lose this one by a score of 50-37, and the series by a score of 3-1.
I'm holding down open purple. That's the fucking dub skis, boys.
Let's go.
Woo.
Just a hero play, boys.
What an amazing week of games. I cannot believe the performances that we have seen over these past 3 weeks. As the halfway point approaches, look for teams to continue to find their form and push for the playoffs. As always, it has been a pleasure. I have been your host, Whatamus, and be sure to tune in next week to the Premier Halo Championship League.